Are you tired of the West dominating the East? Today we talk NBA playoff format.
Go Bridgeside!
And we are back with another episode of Brooklyn Versus. Today we are talking Brooklyn versus the NBA playoff format. I got Donnie, I got Mike, I got Dr. Sports Science, Philly Cags. Donnie, I'm going right to you. NBA playoff format, 1 versus 8 West, 1 versus 8 East. I'm a little bit sick of it. What do you think?
You're going to get a little bit different of a take from me tonight. In years past, I would have said definitely I agree with you.
He's got a thesis going.
I would have said definitely I agree with you. However, the East has been better in these most recent years, so I actually am finally happy. The East has been getting better teams as we go along.
How are they better teams? LeBron wins every year.
I knew you were going to interrupt me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
The Bucks are getting better.
I'm really not sorry.
The Sixers are getting better. Indiana somehow manages to stay relevant. I don't know how.
The Hornets are pretty good.
The Hornets are not bad. I was going to say the Pistons are up and coming. They're not there yet.
Yeah, dude, you know why? Because they get to play against the Knicks 4 times a year, the Charlotte 4 times a year.
The Charlotte, Bobcats, whatever they are.
Wait. West has some pretty bad teams in the basement with the Kings. And
the Kings haven't been relevant for a long time.
I mean, the Bullets are pretty good. No, I'm just
the Bullets?
I'm kidding. So the Wizards are actually
so what's your thesis here? What are you trying to say?
No, I'm actually happy with the current format. That's what he asked me.
So you don't think they should switch to just top 16?
I do not. I do not now. It's different competition. They play against different competition all year, and therefore the competition should stay as it is, slated by those standings.
And I disagree with you.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, just because you're in different conference, you're talking about, and especially a couple years ago, I know you said it got a little better because it did. A couple years ago, you were looking at a 10 or a 9 seed in the West that could have been the 3 or 4 in the East or the 5 or something like that. The West is heated. I think from the 3 to 9 is separated by 2 games.
Yeah.
Donnie, 3 through 9 is separated by 2 games.
But that's all right.
In East, you got people limping in. Under 500. I don't think you should be rewarded for being under 500.
No, but that's why I said I would have agreed with you a couple years ago on that.
A couple years ago. But I don't think you should be rewarded for being a trash team that just happens to beat up on the Knicks and the Nets.
All right, so what's your solution here?
I think the top 16 is a good way to go.
Okay.
I think just you have the East and the West for travel purposes. And then when the playoffs come, it's just the top 6 teams throughout the entire league. Top 16 records.
I agree with you on that, but
if it's 10 from the West, who cares?
Donnie brought up a good point. With this scheduling the way it is, you play the East a lot more if you're an Eastern Conference team than you do the West.
2 more. So sometimes 1 more.
All right, but
sometimes 2 more.
But typically 2.
No, your division is 4 games.
Right.
And then your other 2 are 3.
All right, but that's a big difference than playing everybody else twice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I think the fact you're playing one conference so much more than the other, I think that kind of lends to Donnie's point. If you tell me, let's change the schedule, let's equalize a little bit more, it might be tough because of traveling, then I would agree to 1 to 16. Because honestly,
so then do that. Because I think they should change to 1 to 16.
I am sick and tired of the East being
garbage.
That's
what I'm saying. That's
for years. You go back 10 years to when the Spurs and the Lake and the Suns,
dude,
it was ridiculous. There were teams with 50 wins in the 8th seed, and they would lose in the first round, and you'd have a team with like 36 wins in the East, like the Nets, not the Nets. The Bucks used to get it every year, like 37 wins.
It was a shame you were losing out so good. And let's be honest, the West, it would only be like 10 teams total. How many teams would really come from a conference? You know, you got 8 and 8 right now. If you switch to the top 16, how much would it really be? 10 and 6. You know.
Well, this year, this year might about even out. I'd have to take a look at it again.
What do you think about it?
I mean, my whole thing is if you go to 16, then you got to change a couple other things. You can't just change 16. First of all, you got to let the East play the West more games. It's got to be a pretty.
Right, you got to balance it out.
You're right about that. I agree.
And the most important thing is you're talking about for traveling purposes during the playoffs, you have to change the playoff format to 2-3-2. Then you can't have 2.
You can't
2-1-1-1.
You're not going to go LA traveling to Boston.
Right. You can't go back and forth and back and forth. What kind of series is that, right? They'd have to end up spacing out the games a ridiculous amount. So if you do this, it's a lot of changes for the chance that there might be one team that gets in that had a better record than the team that goes out.
But wouldn't it?
So I think it's way too much of a headache for really what it's worth in the end.
Here's the biggest reason they want to do it too. I think is that because right now, there's only one team that could beat the team in the Warriors, and it would be the Rockets. They want that matchup to be the NBA Finals.
Right, but don't you think that would create a better playoff format come the last 4 to 8 teams? The first round, I think, should go back to best of 5.
I agree.
Let's start there. You want to talk about playoff format?
Absolutely.
First round's got to go back.
Space out.
Not only
you can space it out more because you have less
spacing
games now.
out. The better team especially in basketball, is not going to lose the best of 7.
Oh,
An 8
So I'm
is
going to
not
take it a
beating
step
1.
further. Give the top 2 teams buys.
And then make what? Have 12 teams?
And have
Or
14
10
teams.
14.
You have 14 teams.
Now,
then.
now
one
we
in
get
each
into
conference.
it.
You
Now
know
we
what?
get into a different topic.
Yeah, but I
Now
don't.
you're cutting the teams.
I don't
You know
like-
what? If they're going
I
to
don't
give
like
buys
giving
in
buys.
football,
I don't
if
like
they're going to
giving
give
buys.
buys in football, then you might as well
On a
give
one
buys in
gamer, yeah.
basketball when these 8 teams have no
here's
shots.
Here's a problem with a bye. Basketball, you're playing every 2-3 nights max. Football,
Throws you
you're
off.
used to being off for a week. If you don't play a basketball game for 2.5 weeks, that might be a problem.
You'll
I
be
mean, I'm
rusty.
sure the rest would help, but you're telling me that you may not come out flat. It may take you a game or 2 to get back into full
Sometimes in
season.
the
all
NBA
overblown.
Finals, no.
That's all
Sometimes in the NBA
Nah, I
Finals, the teams
disagree.
that get like the 8 games off because they swept, and the other team that went 7 games. Sometimes that team that had the 7-game battle, they
Do
come
you
in here raring to go.
scientifically know that that's the reason that they don't show up in the
Scientifically.
Get a little
championship?
heated about
No,
that.
I'm just saying. I'm so
do I have
tired of
scientific
hearing that
facts? No.
excuse. You don't know that for sure.
But
that
how
a
could
team
you?
that's-
How could you not? But how could you not think that plays a factor?
You're telling me Chris Paul would rather have some time off than play in that first round and smack teams? He's going to play 20 minutes anyways
Listen
while
to
they
me.
smack
You'd
these teams?
want
I actually
the
like
time.
the bye idea.
You'd want the. I hate it. You want the time
don't
off
mind.
maybe to get healthy, but as a player and somebody who's a creature of habit for the last 6 to 8 months, right? You're used to a certain schedule. To just stop playing meaningful games for 2 weeks, and chances are, if you're the 1 seed already, you're sitting guys towards the end of the year as it is.
I like the bye, but he's got a valid point. You can't just dismiss the point that he's making.
So that brings me to this,
Thanks,
and I'd
Phil.
say that six teams in each conference should make the playoffs. There's 30 teams in the league. It should be less than half
But
the
12
teams.
leaves a bye then. You can't have 12 teams.
No, 12 doesn't.
No,
12 doesn't leave
it's
a bye.
6. 6 in each
One
conference.
versus-
At some
1,
point-
6, 2, 4.
3-3.
At some point, there's a bye.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I'd have to rethink. You're right, yeah.
You have to get it to 8. You have to get it to 16
That's why
or
they
8.
have it 16 out of 30. But 16 out of 30, that is over 50% making the playoffs takes, I don't know, the specialness, whatever you want to
weird.
say, out
Yeah.
of the playoffs because you don't even have to be better than half the league to make the playoffs.
If you have the top 4 seeds, all right, 1 through 4. If the best 4 teams are playing in the conference finals, their ratings will be up. We would enjoy it more as fans, whether it's Houston, Golden State, San Antonio, and
So do you
Boston.
agree with switching it to the top 16?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do, but just
I do.
tinkering the
but
schedule.
you got to fool around with the
I agree
schedule,
with that.
because I think it's a
You're
little
right.
messed
That's
up.
a good point. I
If
didn't think of
one
that.
side is just a weaker conference and you're playing them constantly,
You're right, 'cause
You
you're just
know,
gonna beat
it's
them
going to
up.
be difficult for travel, but I think that's what would
You
have
could
to
just
be
make
done.
it all 3. You could probably make it. You could probably make a good balance. And instead of the 4-3-2, just make it everyone's facing each other approximately 3 times.
So to wrap up, 1
All
through 16.
1 through 16. I think it's disgraceful what was going on a couple
Change
years
the schedule,
ago.
boom.
Yeah.
Way too much work for maybe one team getting in every 3 years that should have. Absolutely not. Leave it the same or give.
But you hate it.
give 2 teams
Yeah,
buys.
You hate it the way
you
it
don't
is
want
right
to change
now.
it. You
Yeah,
hate the NBA
because
playoffs.
all these changes are not going to amount to anything in the end,
So-
except a lot of confusion and traveling and nonsense.
So could I ask a question?
How about a
then?
3 or 5 in the first round?
What?
You like the best of 5 in the first round?
Sure.
Can I ask a question then? Mike, you have to fix the NBA playoffs.
Whatever makes the NBA season end quicker. So
Mike,
best of 5.
you have to fix the NBA playoffs.
That's the
What do
5
you do?
finals.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I sell the
It's on
league
you.
to
You
China.
sell the league to China.
Or
Okay.
something.
Donnie?
Less teams with a bye.
So you're on to the bye. All right. I disagree. Keep it 1 to 16, but that'll do it. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time to another episode of Brooklyn Versus. For Win, Donnie, Mike, and Phil. See you
my
next
name?
time.
Go Bridgeside.
Told me I had gray hair before. Now you
Usain
forgot my
Bolt?
name. Come on, guys.
Isn't that Fernando Rodney?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he stinks, Rodney. How does he still have a job?
Because it's one
Who
of the
was-
best closers of all time.
Who was?
He is not.
What'd you
That
say?
is a
Is he?
joke.
He might be. I don't know.